What's up, Raider Nation? We're back here with our draft selection show. This is round 4. Quick note, though, you see that banner? You see that banner right there. It's going down on draft night, Thursday, April 23rd. You're getting the Fan Cave lineup with MoJoe, Murph, Swag Jeff, and they called up the lefty, Grimey Raider, to be a part of the show, man. So I'm excited. The link is in the description. Check out MoJoe's Podshow. I got that link in the description. So as always, check it out, man. And subscribe. Stay tuned. He's got an awesome giveaway at 1,000 subs. So consider this invitation, man. Let's get our IPAs, let's get the ales, the cervezas, whatever we need to get dialed in here, because it's going to be a virtual cheers when the Raiders make selections in the first round. And I hope to see you there, man. But as for today, we're getting into round 4, man. This is Fantasy Draft League status right here. Internet GMs. You got 32 Internet GMs running some teams, man. So stay tuned. Round 4 is in. I'll see you after the break. All right, so here it is, round 4, man. We're jumping right into it. We're not going to do notable picks. We're going to jump right into the Raiders pick. Lynn Bowden, man, quarterback out of Kentucky. Listed here as a wide receiver, but he played quarterback in the last 8 games. Let's get into this dude's numbers, man, because he is the Swiss Army knife. That is from my buddy. My buddy calls me right when he drafted him. He goes, I drafted Lynn Bowden, man. He's the Swiss Army knife. He compared him to like Taysom Hill, man. He goes, I think this is a great gadget player for the West Coast offense. So once again, I love the find here. But let's get into his stats, man, because this dude wrecked it, man. Playing pretty much any position, from kick returner, punt returner, wide receiver, running back, and quarterback, willing his team to a bowl victory, man. So let's get into these stats real quick here. All right, so the numbers that stand out for Lynn Bowden, man, is that he led Kentucky in receiving last year, 30 catches, 348 yards, 11.6 yards per catch with only 1 TD and 5 starts. Now, keep in mind, he was developing as a quarterback. This affected his receiving numbers, but his rushing numbers were insane last year. 1,468 rushing yards with 13 touchdowns, 7.9 yards per carry. The year before in 2018, he had 67 catches, 745 yards, 11.1 yards per catch with 5 TDs. But also in that same year, he had 5 punt returns totaling 146 yards, 2 punt return touchdowns, and that's an average of 29.9 yards per return. So it was tied for first nationally. Now, also throughout his career, now as far as a quarterback goes, because like I said, his quarterback numbers aren't glaring. He has under 500 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Also here you see the yards per attempt. Not that these quarterback stats are going to matter, because he's going to be a wide receiver in the league, probably playing on special teams as a returner if needed, whenever his number's called, if they have an offensive playbook and, a handful of plays for him at quarterback. But reminds me of Ronald Curry to a certain degree, how he, came in the league. He was a quarterback who transitioned to wide receiver. Not quite the same for Bowden. He was a wide receiver / punt returner who was asked to play quarterback. But in his player comparison, ultimately, I think NFL.com had him compared to Randall Cobb, which is very realistic. He's going to be looked at as a slot receiver. But I thought I'd bring up the Ronald Curry similarities, both playing the quarterback position. So very intriguing prospect. Let me know your thoughts. 4th round pick for the Raiders. We're moving on here. So as for my pick right here, man, I get a middle linebacker for the Colts, man. Shaq Quarterman's one of my favorite players, man. He's been a 4-year player at the University of Miami. Just been a standout, all around middle linebacker. And I know his measurables aren't all that. He comes in at 6 foot, 235 pounds. But this dude's your true middle linebacker. If you're going to run a 4-3 defense, you really need that command in the middle. And the Colts, they already got a good linebacker in Darius Leonard, but he's rumored to be possibly a Sam linebacker. They really want a true middle linebacker out there. And once again, as for the Raiders drafting a linebacker, here's your guy right here, man. Look at the stick marks on this guy's helmet. This guy lowers the boom. This guy's a great run-stuffing linebacker. I know there's going to be some that always have the concerns with coverage and height and all that, but really watch this guy on film, man, because he's really electric, man, and he's just that solid blue-collar, lunch pill kind of guy, man, that's just going to show up, punch people in the mouth, and get the defense fired up. Now, last year, you guys already know, man, I was a big fan of Jaquan Johnson out of the University of Miami. This year, I'm a big fan of Shaq Quarterman. Last year, I was a big fan of Shaq Quarterman. If he entered the draft last year, I'm a big fan of this guy. And once again, I wouldn't mind if the Raiders even went for this dude in the 4th round or 5th round. If he's sitting there and they still have yet to address the linebacker position in the draft, here's your steal right here in the mid-round. So let's get into some of his stats here. This dude played every game all the way through his senior year. Now, he totaled 182 career solo tackles, man. 174 assisted tackles, and total was 300. The actual total tackles was 356. 46 and a half were for a loss. You know, he had 12 sacks. Once again, I always say it, man. I want linebackers that get sacks, that get after the quarterback. Of course, in 2019, he only had 1 sack, but add in 1 interception on the resume, 13 passes defensed, and then you have 2 forced fumbles and a fumble recovery for a TD. So yeah, man, everything's there for Shaq Quarterman, man. I just think, once again, man, this is your dude, man, that, you know, hey, Ray Lewis was 6 foot, 240 pounds. So, hey, I'm not saying he's Ray Lewis. I'm just saying this guy plays with an attitude. And Ray Lewis did come out of the University of Miami, so let's not forget that. So, once again, I've been watching this player for a while, man. I'm really high on Shaquille Quarterman, man. And once again, if somehow I don't get Kenneth Murray in the first round with number 19, or trade back and get Kenneth Murray a little bit, depending on how his stock falls, and you just don't get your linebackers, say Patrick Queen, Kenneth Murray, you got Shaq Quarterman, man, who's going to be sitting there. And once again, you saw how it went down in this you saw how it went down pretty much in this draft, you know. So I was either going to go linebacker or offensive lineman here. The Colts have a really good offensive line, so I wasn't primarily like it was a big need, you know. But if a prospect like Damian Lewis slips, maybe I hold off on Shaquille Quarterman. You know, what direction are we going to go in linebacker if Akeem Davis-Gaither slips, or Willie Gay Jr., you know what I mean? Because I'm high on Shaquille Quarterman the whole way, man, and I do like those other linebackers. But you got the center from Michigan right there, Ben Bredson, man. He's pretty good. You got Tanner Muse. You know, there's a notable pick right there. Everybody's been talking about him. He falls in the 4th round here out of Clemson, man, the safety. A lot of us are high on him. And then you got John Runyon, man. He's got that pro football pedigree coming out of the University of Michigan there. Very intriguing player. And Rashard Lawrence, man, from LSU, the defensive lineman, he's catching some steam here in the draft as well, and could be possibly a 3rd round pick, who knows, but he falls right here into the 4th round. So give me your thoughts on these guys, man. You know, the LSU offensive line. But realistically, man, Shaq Quarterman, here's how I want to know. I feel good about this pick. I just want to say it straight up. I feel good about it. But my whole thing is at this point, did I reach? Could I have waited for the 5th round? And not only that, do you think Shaq Quarterman would be your kind of dude running the middle there for the Raiders in the defense? Because he is a true middle linebacker, man. So I'm going to wrap this up, man. I'm looking forward to dropping round 5, man. Who knows? Maybe we'll get it out today. We'll see you guys again come round 5. You guys have a great day. I'm out. Peace.